you know exactly how to find the derivative of x squared, right? You just use the power rule, bring down the 2, subtract 1, and boom, you're done. Easy. But what happens if we completely flip that around? What do you do with 2 to the power of x? Or even crazier, what about x to the power of x? Well, your standard rules are going to completely fall apart here. And look, this isn't just some abstract math puzzle to torture you with. Take a look at this formula right here. This actually models a real-life mosquito population exploding over time during a hot summer. If you want to figure out exactly how fast that swarm is growing on, say, day 4, well, you absolutely need to master the derivatives of exponential functions to do it. So by the end of this explainer, you're going to understand the core concepts behind these special derivatives, the exact formulas that make them tick, and exactly how to apply them to real-world examples. Oh, and you're also going to learn the ultimate mathematical cheat code, logarithmic differentiation. Here's our roadmap for the lecture. We're building this step by step. First, we'll look at the magic of e to the x. Then, we'll apply the chain rule. Third, we'll tackle the natural logarithm. Fourth, general bases and logs. And finally, we wrap up with that logarithmic differentiation cheat code. Let's get right into it. Starting off with section 1, the magic of e to the x. This is the foundation of everything we're doing today. Now, what is really incredible here is just the sheer elegance of the math. Check this out. The derivative of e to the power of x is exactly e to the power of x. Based on fundamental mathematical assumptions, the number e, which is roughly 2.718, is this perfectly unique base. It's the one spot where the slope of the curve perfectly matches its exact y value everywhere along the graph. It is, quite literally, its own derivative. Honestly, I like to think of e to the x as the invincible superhero of calculus. You can hit it with a derivative operator all day long, and it mathematically refuses to change. The derivative just bounces right off. Moving to section 2, the chain rule application. Because, we have to ask, what happens when our invincible superhero gets a slightly more complicated exponent? Watch how this formula builds step by step. If we want the derivative of e to the power of some function, we'll just call it g of x, we rely on our trusty chain rule. First, you literally just copy the original function. Just write down e to the g of x. Then, you multiply that by the derivative of the exponent itself, g prime of x. So it's copy the outside, multiply by the derivative of the inside. It really is that straightforward. Let's tie this back to reality. Remember our mosquito population from earlier? The population, AFT, equals 1,000 times e to the 0.3t. Using the chain rule we just learned, we keep the constant 1,000, we copy the e to the 0.3t exactly as is, and then we multiply by the derivative of that exponent. The derivative of 0.3t is just 0.3. So 1,000 times 0.3 gives us 300. The rate of change is 300 times e to the 0.3t. Now notice something fascinating here. The growth rate is exactly 0.3 times the original population size. That constant ratio right there, that is the defining hallmark of exponential growth in nature. All right, now that we've got the basic idea of the exponential function locked down, let's flip the script. Section 3, the natural logarithm. This is the direct mathematical inverse of e to the x. The derivative of the natural log of x, written as ln x, is beautifully simple. It's just 1 over x. And just like we saw a minute ago, if we have a more complex function inside that logarithm, let's say the natural log of g of x, well, the chain rule kicks right back in. It becomes 1 over g of x multiplied by g prime of x. So, to put it simply, the derivative of a natural log is just the derivative of the inside divided by the inside. Now wait, this is super important, so pay close attention to this next part. Look at the massive, terrifying fraction here. A huge mistake students make is trying to use the chain rule, product rule, and quotient rule right out of the gate on a nightmare function like this. Please don't do that. Instead of diving in blindly, you use log properties to simplify it first. The log of a multiplied product splits into simple addition, the log of a division splits into subtraction. By just expanding the whole thing out first, you magically turn a horrifying quotient rule problem into a basic series of addition and subtraction derivatives. Work smarter, not harder, right? Okay, up to now, we've had the luxury of using the base e because, frankly, it's perfectly clean. But in section 4, general bases and logs, we're moving beyond base e. Because, let's face it, the real world doesn't always hand us perfect numbers. Notice the difference here. On the left, we have our nice, clean e to the x. But on the right, we have a general base b to the power of x. Maybe it's 2 to the x or 10 to the x. Now, you might be asking, why does this general formula suddenly pick up this extra natural log of b hanging off the end? Well, the reason is that other bases have to be scaled mathematically to match the natural rate of change. So the derivative of 2 to the x isn't just 2 to the x. It is 2 to the x multiplied by our scaling factor, the natural log of 2.
And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates how math just stays so perfectly consistent. Just like the exponential function picked up that ln b scaling factor, the general logarithm, log base b of x, picks up the exact same ln b factor. Except this time, it shows up down in the denominator. So the derivative becomes 1 over x times the natural log of b.
We've finally reached it. Section 5, Logarithmic Differentiation, the ultimate calculus cheat code. Remember the very first question of this lecture? How in the world do we find the derivative of x to the power of x? You can't use the power rule and you can't use the exponential rule because both the base and the exponent are variables. It feels impossible. Instead, we're going to follow these 5 rigid steps like a recipe. Let's apply it to something truly terrifying, like y equals 2x to the 4th plus 1, all raised to the power of tangent x. Step 1, take the natural log of both sides. Step 2, use your log properties to bring that tangent x exponent all the way down to the front. Look at that, it's not an exponent anymore, it's just a standard multiplication problem. Step 3, differentiate both sides using the basic product rule. Step 4, multiply the y back over to the right side to completely isolate your derivative. And finally, step 5, substitute your original function back in for y. Boom! You literally just took an impossible problem and broke it down into completely manageable algebraic steps. All right, before we wrap up, let's summarize the key points. I highly recommend taking a screenshot of this cheat sheet right now. Let's review. E to the x stays e to the x. A general base b to the x picks up a natural log of b multiplier. The natural log of x becomes 1 over x. A general log base b of x puts that natural log of b right in the denominator. And finally, whenever you are faced with a variable raised to a variable exponent, like x to the x, you deploy your new best friend, logarithmic differentiation. So you now have the exact tools to differentiate nearly any exponential or logarithmic function you will ever encounter. But I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. You can now easily find the rate of change of x to the power of x. But what happens if you need to work backwards? What happens if you need to integrate it? Keep thinking about that one. Make sure to catch our next explainer where we dive into the incredible complexities of integration. Stay focused,